Hello again, everyone. I'm Lat the Redeemed, bringing you another Infinite MAGICRAID video. Today I want to talk briefly about gearing your characters. You can find a lot of information out there about how to go about setting up your characters, and you'll find many different opinions. The game itself will recommend what stats you should be prioritizing an increase on for each hero. Let's take a look at Ariel here. Attack, critical rate, and critical damage are the three recommended attributes to focus on for increasing, and that makes sense given her role as a pure damage dealer. Your options in the early game are limited in terms of gear. Each chapter in the campaign yields a different type of set. Attack, defense, hit points, speed, critical rate, critical damage, effect hit, tenacity, leech, mastery, healing effect, and effect resistance. For the common difficulty level, the gear you'll find ranges from 1 to 3 stars and from common quality all the way up to epic, with common and rare being far more likely than elite or epic. The way that stars work is that they control scaling of the raw numbers. For example, take this pair of 3-star boots. They have a default speed of 36, whereas the 2-star boots have a default starting speed of only 24. The more stars, the more speed. Quality determines how many secondary attributes are known up front. For common, none of the attributes are known. For legend, all 4 are known. Gear can be leveled, which increases the basic attribute for each level of the equipment. Every 4 levels, a secondary attribute is raised. If no secondary attribute has been exposed, for example on common gear, one is randomly chosen. The reason that higher quality gear is better is that you can see what the secondary attributes are before you invest your coin in raising the gear level. So, what gear should you choose for your early game group? The answer, as with many things in this game, is that it depends. However, I've done some testing for you on what I consider the three basic options to be. The first option is to use gear where the basic attribute raised is one of the attributes that the game recommends. Again, for Ariel, that would be attack, critical rate, or critical damage. Another option that is often recommended is to choose speed gear for the whole kit, with the underlying theory that faster heroes get more turns and will do more damage and take fewer hits. A third, commonly discussed choice is to use leech equipment on all the slots for everyone in the group. Leech gear heals the hero by 10% of the damage done by that hero, thus enhancing their survivability. So, as a simple test, I outfitted Ariel in 3 different sets of gear and saw what happened. The gear was all 3-star and had not been upgraded at all. Ariel is a 5-star level 100 hero, and I sent her over to campaign stage 10-2, which she can solo, but just barely. For her default set of gear, I chose attack based on the game's recommendations. As you can see, with attack gear, Ariel was able to solo stage 10-2 40% of the time, taking an average of 43,000 hit points of damage and taking 40 seconds to clear all 3 waves. Next, I put Ariel in speed gear, which I've seen recommended quite often as the best choice. For speed, the numbers were similar to what they were for the attack gear, with Ariel taking the same average of 43,000 hit points of damage. However, she was able to complete the stage in 15% less time, taking an average of 34 seconds as opposed to 40. She was also only able to clear the waves 40% of the time. The final set of gear I chose was the Leech set. For Leech, Ariel was able to complete stage 10-2 100% of the time, and averaged self-healing with the Leech gear for more damage than she took, by nearly 15,000 hit points. However, the time it took to clear the stage was the highest of all 3, at 45 seconds. Admittedly, this was a very small sample size, but I do think that there's a couple of findings of note here for the early game. Default gear may not be the best general equipment, especially in the early game. Of the three options, it was actually the worst choice, failing as often as speed gear while also being slower to clear the level. Leech gear offers the most survivability and clearing potential, but it is slow. For campaign clearing, that slowness may create difficulties in picking up all 3 stars on each stage. All of the gear in the game can be useful in specific situations, and over time, you'll collect good pieces of the basic gear as you run through the game. Later, you'll have options to forge pieces with additional stats, and Leech will become less important. To start though, I recommend a bit of farming in Campaign Chapter 12, the Demon Abyss, because that's where Leech drops. Keep an eye on the market as well, as both 5 and 6 star common gear is available from time to time. If you have the spare coin to purchase it, it can be a valuable addition to your gear sets. Whatever gear you choose, I recommend that you pay close attention to the secondary attributes that are available. You want those attributes to match as closely as possible to the recommended attributes for each hero. So, for example, on healing characters, you want something like Healing Effect. For damage dealers, you want something like Critical Rate or Attack or Critical Damage. And of course, Speed is always a good attribute to have on any gear. Thanks for following along, and if you found the content in this video interesting and useful, please drop a like to help others find this among the massive library of content on YouTube. If you'd like to see further analysis of this game, please also consider a subscribe and you'll be notified anytime I drop a new video. Till then, this is Lath the Redeemed signing off and wishing you a good day.